Yeah, I think that this is gonna be the perfect place to do our bluebird hollow. I'm gonna start this video by telling y'all that before this week, I knew nothing about bluebirds. I have spent the last few days reading articles and watching documentaries and listening to experts, trying to learn as much as I can about bluebirds. So if you're a bluebird expert and I misspeak about anything or leave out anything that you think is very important information about bluebirds, please let us know in the comments below. One thing I learned about bluebirds this week is that they seem to really like big open fields like our bluebird hollow here. Bluebirds mainly eat bugs, so they can sit up here in the tree and look out over the field and then swoop down whenever they see a bug that they want to grab. Bluebirds also apparently really like sunny places, and this hollow gets a lot of sun, so we really hope the bluebirds are going to like it here. So if you're anything like I was 3 days ago, you might be thinking, why bluebird houses? Why not just bird houses? Like, is there a difference? There is a difference. The blueprints for the bluebird houses that we ended up using came from the North American Bluebird Society. In this video, we're going to be building what's called the Peterson box, and if you want to make your own bluebird boxes, I will link them below. Because it turns out bluebirds like their own very specific type of house. How do I describe this? It might be easier to just show you. Bluebirds are known as what are called cavity dwellers, which means that they like to live in things like this. Do you see that cute little hole in that dead tree? That is like the ideal place for a little bluebird to live. And even though bluebirds like living in little cavities like that, they don't create them. They have to kind of wait just to find them in nature. Like that one, I'm pretty sure was done by a woodpecker. When you have a dead tree like this out in the woods, it's totally fine and usually not a safety hazard. But imagine if you had a dead tree in your yard, you're probably gonna have to remove it because it can be a safety hazard. Fewer dead trees like that means fewer places for woodpeckers to peck and then fewer places for bluebirds to live. So between the bluebird's loss of the natural habitat and then increasing competition from other cavity dweller birds, the bluebird's population in North America decreased so drastically in the 1900s until people started building bluebird boxes. So let's do it. Let's turn this little meadow into Bluebird Hollow. Make some bluebird houses.
Yay! What'd you say?
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down.
Our first sides are done.
So good.
Look at your little bird on the swing.
The bird swing.
My moth is my favorite. This is the part I'm actually most excited about, is the little frog holding the rooms
so
for
cute.
rent.
He's
It's gonna
so
be so
cute.
cute. Your dragonfly is so pretty. Frog is my favorite creation. This is the best thing I've ever made. He's like, come on birdies, choose my house to live in. Our birdhouses are basically done, except for figuring out how we're going to be installing the little bird cameras. Do you see that little thing in there? That is literally a camera. The electronics for this camera are not waterproof, so we put it in a Tupperware container. This little camera also needs a power source, so we're gonna have to put like a solar panel on the roof for the little birds. Use some double stick tape on the back side of this camera and try to stick it to the top of the birdhouse. Oh no, this is so difficult. I'm trying to do this without stretching the cord too much and also without touching the lens of the camera. I think that works. This one is going to be filming directly into the birdhouse from the side. Two of the birdhouses are going to have cameras from the outside. We're off to Bluebird Hollow! Oh no! Birdhouse number 1. Woo!
There we go. That's probably smells
Oh,
nice.
that's so cute. I kind of like it tilted even. We're gonna stock our little Bluebird restaurant with Bluebird's favorite snack, mealworms? Mealworm. I always thought it was mealworm, but it's literally mealworms. It's time to start stocking our Bird Bath & Beyond with some of Bluebird's favorite things to make their nests. And one of their favorite things are pine needles. We're also gonna give them some dry grass. If you're doing this, make sure that these are from untreated lawns. You don't wanna like treat your lawns with like pesticides or anything and then give it to the birds. We're also gonna add in some 100% natural fiber jute. If you saw the video from a few weeks ago where Dad and I macrameed and crocheted some plant hangers, we saved our scraps and then we shredded them up for the little birds to give them some extra things to add into their birdhouse. Remember what this super aesthetic, cute little area looks like because it's about to not get as aesthetic. But this is going to protect our little birds. You put the bucket onto the pole. Obviously this is not 100% foolproof, but you can see how if a predator tried to climb up the pole to get our little birds, this would kind of like get in their way. It might rock, might scare them, might be hard for them to climb around it. So we will see how it goes. The last thing we needed to do up here was set up the game camera. And this is pointed right at our Bluebird box and our Bluebird store. We have 4 birdhouses and 4 cameras, and we're gonna set them all up a little bit different, so hopefully we're gonna have some really cool bird footage to show you guys. 1 down, 3 to go. This one has a different type of inside camera, so if we take out the doorstop, we look inside. There is the other camera. Gonna turn it on. Hello. That's gonna be so cool. So this meadow is a little over 2 acres, and something that I've learned about bluebirds this week, doing the bluebird research, is that bluebirds are pretty territorial, so usually you won't have more than 1 or 2 bluebird families per acre or 2. So you might be thinking, why are we putting multiple bluebird houses within the same couple acres? It's what the experts said to do, so I'm just gonna listen to the experts. From what I understand, like we talked about earlier, since there are a lot of other cavity dweller birds that are competing with the same spaces for bluebirds, putting multiple bluebird boxes within one little area can still help the chances of your bluebird being able to find a home. So we have 1 over there, 1 over there, 1 way back there, and 1 at the entrance of the meadow. And maybe if we're lucky, at least 1 of them will have a bluebird family. Now comes the most difficult part of the bluebird box building experience. I mean, the most difficult part for me at least. You guys only have to wait like 10 seconds, but I'm gonna have to wait weeks or maybe even months before I can see if bluebirds are going to actually go into our bluebird houses. You're filming bluebirds?
I'm filming bluebirds on my telescope.
Oh my gosh, they're over there. They're
There
using
they
it.
are over there. They're building a nest.
Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. For y'all, it's been like 2 seconds, but for me, it has been 3 weeks, and I am so excited to finally be able to check all of our bluebird houses. Over here is the bluebird house I've been watching with the telescope, and we know for sure, because of the telescope, that there are bluebirds making a nest in this birdhouse. We don't want to disturb them, so we're not going to get too close, but we are going to go over here to this game camera and get out the memory card so we can check it to see if we have any footage of the bluebirds making their nest. From this camera, we're obviously not going to have footage of inside the birdhouse with the birds building the nest, but what's cool about this camera is that we're hopefully going to have footage of the birds gathering up all of the supplies that we left for them to build their nest in this little Bird Bath & Beyond store. So now we're gonna walk back here to Bluebird Hollow, where if you'll remember, we have 3 different bluebird houses. Now we don't have high hopes that these are even going to have bluebirds nesting in them because usually bluebirds are very territorial and more than one bluebird family won't live within a couple acre radius. But of course we have to check. Okay, this is so exciting. There is a nest in this one as well. And come here, let me show you how you can tell. We're not gonna open it up, we don't want to disturb them, but look right there. Do you see the hay, the straw, the maybe pine needles sticking out? There's definitely a nest of some kind in this birdhouse as well. This is the camera footage that I am the most excited about if it works. This solar panel up here, in theory, has been charging this camera, and it is a tiny little camera that is inside of the birdhouse facing straight down. So in theory, we're going to be able to watch them build their nest. This next birdhouse y'all might recognize if you come to my live streams because you guys help me wood burn this. See things that you recognize from the sunflower family? I need a wrench. Thank you. That's not a wrench.
That's all I have.
Josh fixed it.
We done did it.
Thanks, Josh. I don't have super high hopes for this one, but we have to check it. Checking the cameras was so much fun. We saw squirrels, we saw deer, which were kind of terrifying looking at night, especially when you just see the eyes at first. We saw my aunt out for a walk with her dog. We got a little glimpse of Mom refilling the Bird Bath & Beyond store. And finally, we got to see that Bluebirds were using not one, but multiple of our little Bluebird boxes. Sadly, our solar power Bluebird camera, the one that's on the ceiling of that one Bluebird box, isn't currently working, but we're doing our best to get it up and running so we can show you all the footage at a later date. But we did get footage of inside one of the other Bluebird houses, and there are bluebirds in there, and you can even see little twigs in their mouths sometimes, and it looks like they might be building a nest in there. At this point, we don't know if we have multiple different bluebird families or if this is the same two bluebirds building multiple nests in multiple bluebird boxes. According to the bluebird experts, sometimes they like to build multiple nests within a few acre radius, and then after the nests are completely built, they'll choose which one they want to lay their eggs in. In this region, bluebirds can continue nesting apparently all the way up through September, so we're going to keep the bluebird cameras out and inside the boxes, and I'm just super excited to watch their journey. Hopefully we're going to get to watch them build a nest and have little bluebird babies, and we're going to update y'all along the way. I hope you had as much fun as I did on this journey of learning about bluebirds and building the bluebird boxes and getting to see them come and choose their new homes. If you're new here, welcome to the Sunflower family. I'm Hollyana. I'll see you in the next one.